The reason we shut down the economy, forcing hundreds of thousands of businesses to go under and millions of people to worry about their incomes. Here's what Fauci had to say about it in January of 2020.
But the one thing historically people need to realize, that even if there is some asymptomatic transmission, in all the history of respiratory-borne viruses of any type, asymptomatic transmission has never been the driver of outbreaks. The driver of outbreaks is always a symptomatic person.
Really? Then why, throughout the past year and a half, advocate for a complete shutdown of the economy, for healthy people to wear masks, families to cancel get-togethers, asymptomatic kids to stay home from school for months on end, for people to die alone, and for now vaccinated asymptomatic people to wear masks and possibly cancel this Christmas? And then there's the vaccines. Fauci has flip-flopped or changed the goalposts a number of times regarding who needs a vaccine, how many people we need vaccinated, what you can or cannot do if vaccinated, whether or not you can or cannot spread the virus while vaccinated, whether or not you can or cannot get sick if vaccinated, how many shots of the vaccine we'll need. It's been a total mixed bag of messages and moving goalposts. So whether or not you think Fauci lied and is some sinister narcissistic character, or if you think Fauci's just trying the best he can during the most challenging time in his career, the reason he should be fired or retired is because of his inability to remain consistent, something he has even said is important when guiding people.
The other thing I think that's a very important principle is to be consistent. You have to have a certain fundamental set of principles that guide how you advise somebody, and you can't change them. You've got to be consistent, and sometimes your consistency is going to have a negative impact on somebody, and sometimes it's going to have a positive. But if you're consistent, then in the long range, you're going to be very effective.
Now, the job of our scientists, especially our lead guiding scientists, should be to ignore the emotional outcries from those who are understandably and expectedly frightened during a viral outbreak, and unemotionally lead, even when the science is saying something other than we want to hear, but potentially knowingly lying to Congress, definitely knowingly lying to us to manipulate our behavior, flip-flopping on lockdowns, masks, or vaccines, and now calling for invasive mandates that impact people's health and further disrupt lives and businesses. Fauci has been the exact opposite of consistent. Now, what has been consistent are his dropping approval ratings, with the latest Rasmussen poll putting his approval at only 41%. Most of the country doesn't trust the one person we need to trust more than anyone right now. That's dismal. And my guess is after the latest news about the gain-of-function research and even the puppies, his approval will worsen. Now, I think even people who have approved of Fauci during this entire time, those those who really have thought, okay, Fauci really knows what he's talking about, at this point, even they should be calling for Joe Biden to fire him or calling for his forced resignation, just for simply the fact that in order for us to get through this pandemic, we need to have everybody together on board with some sort of consistent action. And Fauci's clearly not that guy. I mean, if the majority of people just do not approve of him, if people are feeling like, I don't know about this guy, how are we going to do that?